Hello, happy Tuesday to you. So really quickly, I have been posting a lot of very serious conversation videos on my LinkedIn page the last 48 hours, I should say, and it's interesting because when I do different perspectives on race, I always get like that handful of white people that like to like quote Morgan Freeman, and they're like, we're all Americans and we should just stop talking about race and then it'll get better. And it's like, I used to kind of could agree with that perspective. I think I even quoted it one time. But I'm one of those people, as I learn and grow and kind of really dive into different viewpoints, I'll revisit something if it's reoccurring. And this time, I had to revisit that statement and really put it in proper context to, my new understanding of just how I choose to want to identify myself. So before, I used to make the argument that we're not African Americans, like native blacks, that we're not African American because we were not born in Africa, right? But when I think about it, everyone wants to do all these ancestry DNA kits, which is basically people's curiosity about their heritage, right? So within America, we have all these different cultures and heritage that really is under one nation, okay? So under this nation of people, we don't have all the people that look alike. We have a variety of different people dispersed throughout this nation that are of diverse backgrounds. And so when people say we should not talk about race, I challenge that because I think that there's so many beautiful races and cultures within those races that we should embrace. I love Arabic food. I love during Diwali. I can see the beauty of Indian culture. I love. I've done bar mitzvah videos for Jewish clients before, and really enjoyed my time learning about just that whole process for them. I enjoy my African culture. I have kente type cloth, African garb type cloth, and I have things that remind me of, my heritage. You know what I mean? And I think there's nothing wrong with Americans talking about race from the perspective of embracing race. And it's interesting because you have one side who's obsessed with talking about race in the context of racism, and then you have this other side. They're like, let's just stop talking about it. We want to talk about it. And I think in the middle of that discussion is we don't need to talk about racism. Racism is a malignancy that has been still sort of planted within the American Union, but I think it's more intentional than it is a citizen reality. Because citizens in America are coexisting with each other without all of these arguments. It's only when our politicians need to do something or deflect something onto us that they want to divide us and polarize us so that we're distracted hating each other and not focused on all the crappy things that they're doing to us policy wise. But that's neither here nor there. The bottom line is, for my white fellow conservatives who, believe that, listening to Morgan Freeman's perspective on not talking about race, I definitely challenge you to kind of think of that in a different way. I think that we should not be talking about racism, but we should be talking about what, are the wonderful things about other races that we appreciate that makes us coexist better. You know what I mean? Like, to be honest with you, I can't imagine the United States without the Hispanic community. I can't imagine the United States without the Asian community. I can imagine the United States without the Arab community. I can imagine the United States without the black community, or I'm sorry, I got to get out of it. See, I've been conditioned, y'all. The African American, Afro American, Caribbean American, all these different segments and cultures, I couldn't imagine this country without them. And that's, to me, the lens in which we should be talking about race And that's why, to me, I don't believe that the conversation of race should be dismissed from the discussion. And I also want to also make a point that I am American and I'm also African descended. So, my ethnicity and my nationality are two forms of pride that I can have about myself. And I think that, people can sort of put that into perspective as well. So I hope you all have a wonderful day. I'll catch you on my next podcast. I'm going to try to figure out a different time. If you guys can shoot me some suggestions about what time works best for you, is an evening, Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening. How do you guys, what's the best time for you? Because, I feel like people want to catch it, but it's like that 2 o'clock and on Saturday might be a little tough for a lot of people. It's a feedback that I'm getting. So pitch me some times. We're going to be talking about beta females next. That should be awesome and interesting. I'm going to be having my friend Brittany help me out with that. So I'll catch you on the flip side, and you have a wonderful day and work week.